Hello and welcome back to the class. In today's video, we are going to understand again about the same thing, that is the assembly. Now in the previous session, we have already completed the assembly, that is we have already placed all the components where it's supposed to be. Now again I'll repeat, if you want to open an assembly, you have to click on open. You have to browse for the respective folder wherever the assembly is placed. So in this case, the assembly is being placed inside the D drive, inside the Benchwise assembly folder, and you can see over here there is a name called assembly of Benchwise. We have to click on options. We have to activate this option called all components from folder, and we have to choose fully load. If you need to allow replacement, you can always check this particular box. Once this particular part is ready, then you have to click OK and then select the assembly of Benchwise and click OK. Now this is how you are going to open the assembly. In today's session, we are going to learn about how to create an exploded view of this same assembly. So what is an exploded view? That is how exactly the things are going to get assembled, or how exactly the things are going to move in order to get the assembly done. Okay, so let's get started. Now here, in order to create an exploded view, I have to go to the assemblies tab, and here we have an option related to explosion. Now once you manage to find this particular option that is related to explosion, you have to click on the explosion option. Then you have to create a new explosion. So here I'm clicking on creating a new explosion, and now the process is fairly simple. You just need to select the geometry. Then here in explosion type, you can either select manual or automatic. I'll choose manual. And here in specify orientation, you just need to move the geometry. For example, here I'm moving it up. Again, I'm selecting the geometry, specify orientation, moving it here. Okay, so this is how the part is going to look when it is exploded, or where it is not in place. So this way a person can easily understand how the parts and where the parts are placed together in order to complete the assembly. So here, for example, right now I'm moving the screw rod a little above. Then similarly, I'm selecting this and moving it up. Okay, you can either move it slightly up or more up depending upon your preference. Then again, selecting this and moving it here. Okay, I would prefer to move it in a way, particular way where how the assembly is going to be done. So let's say, for example, I'm moving the end plate over here, and then I'm moving it up. So this is how I can define where the location of the end plate is going to be. Finally, I'm selecting this, moving it in this direction, then again selecting this and moving it upward. So once the assembly exploded view is completed, I can just simply click OK, and this is how the explode view is going to look like. Now the best part is, anytime I want to see the explosion, I can hide, or I can see the explosion anytime I want to. Now the best part about this is, whenever I am in the explosion view, I can also click on this option called create trace line. Now once I click on this option called create trace line, I have to specify the start point and the end point. So here in this case, for example, this particular object is going to fit here, so I can create a trace line like this. So this way a person looking at the diagram can easily understand where and in which location the parts are going to go. For example, this particular hole is going to match over here, so I'm creating a trace line here. Similarly, this particular hole is going to match over here, so I'm creating a trace line here. So once the trace lines are completed, so for example here, this particular part is going to go over here, so there is a trace line here, and again there is a trace line here. Okay, so we can define this trace line. This will allow the software to understand how the parts are going to place together. For example, this is one is going to go in this center, okay, not this way, the other side. So I'll click on apply, and this one is going to go in this center. Okay, I don't want my trace line to look like this, so I can simply move it further or backward depending upon how you want to place it. Similarly, last thing, I want to place this one exactly over here, and this is how this particular trace line is going to look like. Okay, now if you want, you can cycle through solutions of different trace lines. Once you are happy with the current solution, you can click OK, and once you are ready with the explode, you can click on close. So this is how the explode view is going to look like with all the trace lines in place. Okay, so again, I'll go to explosion, I'll hide my explosion so that everything is closes back together, and I'll press the home button on the keyboard and save the file. So this was all for the entire session, and we have learned from the scratch how to build all the parts, how to create individual parts, how to place individual parts in an assembly, along with that how to create an exploded view, okay, and how to make the entire assembly work. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for joining along. You can follow my profile in order to get updated with all the new content which I'm going to publish recently. In the next content which I'm going to publish will be related to assembly sequence, which is technically creating motion inside assembly. So be ready for that. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.